And we're live. Hey, Murph.
Hi, Crystal.
How's it going?
Oh, I'm doing great. I am
Cool.
so glad it's the weekend.
Boy, I'm telling you, I'm so glad I have 2 days off in a row now.
I know. I'm
Oh,
really pulling for Bernie Sanders to get that win for all of us and go down to a 30, what is it, a 32-hour work week? Yeah.
wouldn't that be amazing?
Oh, that would be incredible.
It would be so good for productivity.
Yeah. And mental health.
Oh, yes, especially mental health. That's what I really need. Oh, man, big time. So, if you're anybody out there is watching or listening, or if you're listening to the replay, thank you. Welcome to our live hang. And we just thought, there's so much going on all the time. Sometimes you can't wait for the next podcast recording. So why not jump on here and chat with all of y'all and see if you have any input for us, and if you have any ideas for us for who we might interview or talk about, or subjects you might talk about. But I should mention, by the way, I'm Crystal, the co-host of Big Sexy Chat, and this is Murph. She's also a co-host of Big Sexy Chat, and we're so excited to be here.
Yes, we are.
So Murph, what's going on? What's on your mind these days?
Well, I know that we've had lots of podcasts happening, but we haven't had one of our standard formats where we talk about things that are kind of pop culture. So I wanted to kind of highlight the big three that we've heard of lately.
Ooh,
The Lizzo I Quit, the Oprah Town Hall, and the Weight Watcher apology.
yeah, it's been a crazy 2 weeks.
So we got the notice from Lizzo on her Instagram page that she was quitting. Like talking like, I'm just tired of all the bad stuff and all the this and that. I quit. And I don't know about you, but when I read that, I was like, okay, here we go. So, of course, like 2 days later, pops up because the first was everybody was saying Lizzo quits. Oh my gosh, Lizzo quits. Everything, the sky is
Yeah.
falling. And then 2 days later, it was, well, no, I don't quit. I quit looking at negative things said about me. Bullshit. You don't quit looking at negative things about you. That's not realistic.
It was such clickbait. So I was like already kind of like, huh, this sounds fishy to me. But I know the different outlets like to have anything that's going to just bring anybody in for their engagement and their ad clicks. So that's what I assumed it kind of was like that kind of
Yep.
BS.
Well, and then we found out it really was like that. It was I'm not quitting music. I'm just quitting all the negative talk online. Well, that you can't escape that unless you have somebody else going through and curating all of your negative comments that come up. It's just not going to happen. And the amount of people that would comment on Lizzo's stuff, there's no way she'd be able to block all of that
Oh
content.
no. I
So it
wonder
was
if it was like an
a grab.
attention grab from her, attention grab from the outlets, the media outlets, both.
I think both. Yeah. And I'm sure like her lawyers are like, hey, you need better press. And so let's talk about how everybody's ganging up on you right now. I
Yeah.
mean, I've seen lawyers use tactics like that before too,
Oh,
kind of like, let's
sure.
play you to be the victim here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So, yeah, and I get that she's innocent until proven guilty of all those charges and things that were said against her, but it just was such a petty, like, attention grabbing response, at least in my opinion. I was disappointed.
Yeah, it's really disappointing. And, it's also, unfortunately, it comes with the territory when you go online. Remember when I first kind of started getting into this, I realized if you write a blog and you put it out into the universe, you have to be prepared for the universe to respond. And there's no way to avoid the negative stuff. It's just really how you deal with it in your head. Like
Yep.
I don't let it get to me. I don't give a f. But I know it's harder to grow thick skin. She didn't ask to be, a plus size hero or whatever, but she certainly has been. And yeah, it just seems a little disingenuous to say you're quitting.
Yeah. I mean, I would have much preferred a comment about, like, hey, I'm really struggling mentally right now with all the negative comments. And so I'm just going to kind of avoid that as much as I possibly can. And it's not going to stop me from being me or doing my own music or, creating content or whatever it is. But this whole like, I'm done. Woe
Yeah.
is me. And then, right back at it the next day so that it still stays hot in the press. It just,
Yeah.
it was I don't know. I felt like it was kind of pathetic.
Yeah, it was really unusual. I think she's done this a couple times maybe already too, but I mean, I know she's probably in a difficult position, and I know that people are mean to me as a fat person. I'm sure she gets extra vitriol because she's also a black woman, a black fat woman,
Yeah.
and it's just too bad that there's so much of it online. It's just I don't know where they get the ability to be so mean to other random strangers.
Right. Well, and if you're making that content and you're moving, through that universe, then just be transparent. There's no need for the way that it was presented. You could have a much more realistic conversation with your audience by being real than playing up this, persona of I'm being picked on, because we all know you're being picked on. That comes with the territory.
It's almost like didn't get the memo. Don't read the comments because we
Right.
all know the comments are really bad for your mental wellness, and we just know don't read the comments, especially if you're feeling tender. Don't read the comments. And I've just gotten to the point where I just don't give a shit what they say. But I've been doing this for like 15 years, so I know she's kind of newer to this. And
Right.
yeah, don't read the comments. It's a good advice for everybody because they are awful. I I like to get in there every once in a while so I can go leave a sane comment in case somebody else like me comes through and goes, holy shit, and they go, oh hey, there's a normal person. Then I try to just leave drop a little bits here and there all over the internet, but I don't know how much it helps. It makes me feel better. Maybe somebody else, maybe a little baby fat sees it and goes, oh okay, not everybody hates fat people.
Right. Right. I completely agree. I think you're never going to be able to balance out, the negative to the positive and all of that. But you're right. Maybe even like, hey, saying the words fat liberation so that some, like you said, a baby fat will
Hmm.
come in and see those words and be like, let me type that into Google, or something like that, so that then they can really start challenging those statements and assumptions made by other people.
I always just think how sad for that person that writes this crap. Like how sad and pathetic their life must be. I almost feel sorry for them because their life must not be full of very much joy. Just weird.
Yeah. There's so much to be done for realization and dismantling things that have been ingrained in them, that it's just, you're not going to make that indent on somebody online. It's just not going to happen because they're in their own world in that sort of scenario. It's not something where you're having a sane conversation.
Did you ever hear about Lindy West meeting her troll?
No.
A friend of mine was telling me about it this weekend. I'm like, I don't know that story. But she was saying there was a woman my girlfriend was telling me, there was a woman trolling Lindy, who's the author and creator of the show Shrill and lots of other cool stuff. She's a fat activist. And apparently, this woman was just trolling her really hard. And I think it was like her grandpa died, and it was really upsetting. And anyway, the woman wouldn't stop. And somehow or another, they end up meeting in person. And Lindy got to just tell her, like, I'm a human. I'm a person. I'm a person. There's a person behind the keyboard on the other side. Like, wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting, huh?
Yeah, I would love some more information on how that went, and like, what was there any ability to dismantle some of the negative stuff that person's been ingrained with?
Yeah, I wonder. I'll check it out because I've been meaning to look it up since Friday night. I went out to dinner with my girlfriends and we had a nice time, and they were telling me about the Lindy West thing. But I guess it happened a couple of years ago.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
What have you been up
story.
to this weekend? Anything good?
Ooh, I just finished the Fallout series on
Oh,
Amazon. Love it. It was really interesting. So much symbolism, of like what corporations and capitalism and all the terribleness that is human
yeah,
nature
yeah.
in the United States. So yeah, but it was really well done. It was great acting, really good storyline. I'm not one of those that likes to see anything like bloody or gory. There was a lot of that in this, but in a more like comic, because it's a
Yeah.
video game. So like, it wasn't as real, as some of those other things. It was still pretty graphic, but it was fun. It was an interesting storyline, and makes you kind of just ponder the world.
We were watching Three Body Three Body One, Three Body. Anyway, it's a little dystopian, but it's really good. It's on Netflix. But there was a really bloody scene yesterday, but it's like silly bloody, like you said, comic book silly, because like the way it was happening, it could never happen in real life, and there's just so much blood. It's like Crystal CGI. Crystal
All right.
CGI. It's just so silly how much blood was like spraying everywhere and stuff. But it's really interesting. I really like it so far. Have you heard about it?
I haven't.
I think you guys might like it. It's a little bit of a dystopian kind of sci-fi, um, time travel, different dimensions kind of stuff.
Interesting. Yeah.
And the guy from Doctor Who, I love. He's in it. He's like one of the main characters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't
Cool.
realize. I was looking up after we watched it that Chris Nolan's brother directed Fallout. And so the main character from Fallout, Walton Goggins, who, by the way, just is so handsome, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He was like, it's funny that in the same year, one brother made a movie about making the atomic bomb, and then the other brother made the video about, it actually being dropped. So it was interesting. He was like, "What's going on with that family? Those Nolan boys."
A little dark.
Yeah.
So I heard there's lots of John Denver songs in Fallout.
It's like all 1950s. Yeah. Like Nat King Cole, all that kind of like it's kind of like hauntingly beautiful soundtrack. Like because it sounds like so like everything was pure back then, like the music, and you can understand all the lyrics, and it's idyllic, but then it's, framed with just the end of the world. So it was interesting. Yeah.
It sounds a little bit like This Is Us. Is that what that show was called?
Is that the one with
Pedro Pascal?
Oh, yeah. With the
The End of
zombie.
Us.
Yeah. I didn't watch that one. Everyone said that one was really good.
Really good. Yeah.
I struggle with like the blood and gore stuff. I don't do well with that.
Yeah. I hear you. I don't do well when people are being chased or if there's any violence against women. That's why I'm like, okay, peace out.
Yeah.
There's enough of that in the world.
Right.
Well, can I tell myself something funny? I did a live the other day and I had to take it down because I rewatched it. I had boogies. I was like, oh my God, what is that? I stretched it. I'm like, oh my God. Taking that down.
Yeah.
I remember one time when I was at the store when I had my boutique, I did a whole live with something in my teeth.
Oh, I hate that.
Nobody said a thing. And then I watched it back. I'm like, hello, people. It's not nice. You got to let a girl know.
Yeah, seriously. Like, we get that happens, but just tell somebody. Like,
give a girl a heads up.
Yeah, you're not being kind when you just let that one go by.
It's not nice. No. I'm really excited about the FIAs, the Full Figure Entertainment Awards.
Yeah.
They're going to let us know by the 29th or on the 29th who all made it through to the next round for the podcast. There was like 5 or 6 of us nominated this year.
Yeah.
Outstanding podcast. So we'll see. We have some really, really amazing, I'll call them competitors, but they're not really competitors, but yeah. Awesome. Excited. And if you're interested, we do have a couple of our podcasts about the Full Figure Entertainment Awards. And we just did one recently with Tawana Blasting Game. And the next event is November 2nd in Jamaica, New York.
Yeah. I know. And she said, so the next round, they like take all the consideration of everybody. And then they, as a group of folks, sit down and kind of go over all the information and then make their decision. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But this is awesome that we've had 2 years in a row being nominated.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful.
I would love to be able to go on a trip there to the award ceremony just to go. It's hard when it's like right around Christmas time, like, and I know it's a month before, but you do so much saving up for that. It's like, it's hard sometimes to swing those big trips.
Yeah. No, I have a wedding. I have a wedding that weekend. The electrologist trade show is that weekend. I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? There's 3 things that weekend for me.
I know. I wish like it would be so much easier if you were on the coast where you were nominated, so you could
Right.
get there more, like by car and not have to have,
Yeah,
a 5-hour plane ride.
exactly.
Yeah.
So what else have you been thinking about as far as current events in the fat world?
Well, I mean, there was the big Oprah town hall thing. I
Oprah to
didn't
Melissa.
watch it. I've seen, clips. I've seen a lot of people posting information from it. Um, I think she's just done a big disservice um, to all the people that follow her, and with someone like her with such huge influence. But it tracks for her behavior.
Always
Like
rocks. Yeah.
it's just I wish some people could step out of that and see that this is just hot nonsense.
It was basically an hour-long commercial for Ozempic.
Yeah,
Like, wow, those shareholders must be thrilled.
I'm sure
It's
they are.
unfortunate, but she's had a lifelong battle with her body.
Yeah,
And
and I saw that opening statement where she's talking about, like how she has been vilified and all that sort of stuff in the media. And I don't disagree with that. I mean, but I think that part of that is also her she has some accountability in that because she plays into the game of I have to constantly try to lose weight and I have to be on every diet known to, every person. And I'll jump on this bandwagon and support Weight Watchers. Oh, well, now I found a new golden ticket. So sell my shares because I'm going to go jump on this bandwagon. And so it just perpetuates all those ideas of diet culture, which just keep people
yeah,
stuck and miserable.
I mean, if she had to quit Weight Watchers and get out of, not being a shareholder any longer, and nothing worked until she did the Ozempic, isn't that evidence that Weight Watchers doesn't work?
Right? You would think
Yeah,
so. Well, and now they're finding out that, with Ozempic, a lot of people are hitting that 2-year mark that have been on this for the reason you're supposed to be on Ozempic for your diabetes or controlling blood sugar numbers. And they're starting to gain that weight back.
yeah,
So, it's like everybody thinks they found the miracle thing. And it's like, yeah, it's good for about 2 years. And then, that gastric bypass, oh, here that weight starts coming back. Oh, I'm not doing that diet as much anymore. My body's gotten to the point where it's, indifferent to it. Oh, that weight starts coming back. So we haven't had enough longitudinal studies on this
no,
medication to show any sort of long-term benefit from it. And I don't really think that the risks from the side effects are worth it. Just from my own personal experience, but
right?
just in general, like seeing folks that it's like you really want to go through that to lose weight. I
But
mean,
it seems like it's a really awesome drug for people with blood sugar issues.
right. Well, I mean, I think it helps people so it helped bring my numbers down initially, but I was
Mhm.
only on it for a month and a half. And then the repercussions of the side effects were so bad that it was like, this is terrible. Like, and
Right.
then once I got off of it, my numbers almost shot me into diabetic range.
Wow.
And they were still trying last time I went to the doctor to bring it down. And it had never been that high before. So I'm really concerned about what's going to happen to folks that are on these medications that should not technically be on these medications.
Yeah, it just seems like it's falling into the exact same pattern, like you said, of all other diets.
Yeah.
Works great for 2 years. The weight starts creeping back, and then I guess I don't know. You're just going to go on to the next one, find the next whatever it's supposed to be, the big panacea, the magic bullet.
Yeah. As my former doctor would say, the gold standard. So
Oh
the gold,
yeah.
the gold standard will change, I'm sure, over time.
So before you talk about the apology for Weight Watchers, I just want to mention to anybody who's listening or watching, if you could give us some thumbs up or some hearts, that would be so awesome. So we know if you're there. I see there's like 7 or maybe like 10 people on right now. But anyway, just let us know you're here by a little thumbs up and a heart. But Murph, tell them about the apology from the Weight Watchers person.
So there was a social media influencer that is plus size that watched the Oprah town hall, and basically called out Weight Watchers on her social media platform for just the horrible culture that they have created in terms of um, you know the fat, the anti-fatness. There's the constant barrage of, you need to count that, and did you put your points down, and did you do that, and just really controlled people's lives to the point where it created eating disorders for hundreds of thousands of people.
Millions.
Yeah, millions, right? So, she had basically said, what you said on this town hall was kind of bullshit, and you need to own up to that. And so then the CEO of Weight Watchers got on camera and made a video and had this very like heartfelt apology to this influencer. And um, but with that apology came no course of action to change moving forward. It was just like, wow, we really understand that we've been a big part of this problem, and that sucks, and we're really sorry about that. We're going to change how we do things, but we're still a weight loss company, and we're still da 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 da. So it's like, okay, then it's all lip service at this point. And I think part of the like psychological warfare of that is like, we just grabbed a bunch of new people by doing this apology because they're going to believe that I meant that, and that we're going to change how we do business. So I really felt like it was more of a recruitment tool than it was an apology.
Yeah, it was very PR-esque. Here's some, how do we do this? How do we make sure we use this moment and, find somebody else to grab onto their tails of their engagement on their Facebook or their Instagram, and then just jump on that. And so it's like, yeah, now we're introduced to a million other people that are possibly considering a diet.
Right. Yeah. And we're right back to where we were,
Pretty much, yeah.
So I felt like, wow, man, those three things hit like in 2 weeks. The apology, the town hall, the I quit. It was a lot of really disappointing fat news. I
Yeah, it
was
was a lot.
kind of disheartened by it. But you know what I did see the other day
But
is that they are making a Chris Farley biopic.
oh, I love Chris Farley.
I know, same here. And Josh Gad is going to be the one directing it.
Oh,
And
cool.
he's a fat man as well. I don't know if he identifies as that, but yeah, he's amazing. Just such a talented actor, singer, writer. So it'll be very interesting. I'll be very interested to see the fat side that's being portrayed and talked about in the Farley movie, because I think he was one of those individuals that really shaped, physical comedy and living up to that stereotype of like the fat guy can be the funny guy, that sort of thing. So I'm sure there's a lot of trauma and stuff behind that I hope they get into and talk about a little bit.
This would always just snatch Chris Farley and hug him and just like keep him and be like, no, no more drugs.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a fan. And is Adam Sandler involved at all in this production?
I haven't seen that he is, but Lorne Michaels is. I think Lorne
Oh,
Michaels is the one putting up the money for it. So,
nice.
yeah,
Oh.
I'm looking forward to hearing more information. They were very vague. They said that Paul Walker Hauser is going to be the actor portraying Chris Farley, and I haven't seen him in anything previously, but he does look like him. He looks like the 20-something-year-old version of him. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Chris Farley's living in a van down by the river, and the Chippendales with Patrick Swayze, theirs are just like iconic.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I love that skit where he was the Chippendales character. And some people get so upset with that skit, thinking that it was like making fun of fat people. And I just loved it. I was like, he's owning his body, and the confidence he's exuding is like
Sexy.
appalling Patrick Swayze. Like,
he outdanced Patrick Swayze, okay?
Yeah, I know. It's like, how do you not love that and just think like that is a celebration of fatness right there?
That's people who think fat is bad.
Yeah.
People who think the word fat is bad. They think fat is bad. They think this means like we're unhealthy or we're undisciplined or we're gross, whatever. That's in their heads. That's unfortunate because I thought it was amazing. And I mean, I would love to go to a strip show where there's men that are a little softer and a little chubbier. I like my men a little, hairy,
That's
fuzzy.
that's one of the things I loved the most about Full Monty was
Yeah.
that it was just average guys. I would pay so much ridiculous money to just see average guys doing that, being awkward, just trying to, get in their body and feel it and have fun. Like I would pay that way over some rock hard ab, dancing all up on me like Magic Mike. I yeah, I'd take it in a
I
heartbeat.
I did 10 years of pleasure parties. I've seen way more male strippers than anybody should ever see in their lifetime. Not a fan.
No.
They always have too much Axe body spray on, and I'm like, "You're gonna get that all over me? Get away.
Mhm.
Stop humping my head." But yeah, I would too. Did you know in LA about 15 years ago there was a strip club called Cherry Bombs, and it was a strip club for fat women.
Really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I know. I wish they were still around. It would do
Yeah.
really well right now.
Well, Hustler in Vegas used to have a fat girl night where that was all the entertainers were fat strippers. And yeah, I don't know if they still do it, but for a while there, it was pretty popular.
Someone should open up a club called Full Monty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For real. I'd go. That would be, I see the girls talking about the Thunder from Down Under and the Magic
Yeah.
Mike show, and they're always like, "You want to go and go on a girls trip?" And I'm like, "Not really." But if you were like, "Do you want to go and do the full Monty?" I'd be like, "Yeah, let's go. I'm paying
Road
everybody
trip.
to take it. Yeah,
Road
like,
trip.
let's do
I want
it."
to give a shout out to Manuel. He just said hello to us from Alhambra, California. Hi,
Hi,
Manuel. Thanks for joining
Manuel.
us.
That's awesome.
It would be so much fun, though. Can you imagine?
Yeah,
Oh, God, I
that'd
would
be
love that.
great. Yeah.
So one cool thing that I'm getting ready to do is May 5th, they're bringing Aubrey Gordon's documentary to the Roxy in San Francisco, and I
Ooh.
bought tickets to go to it. And yeah, a lot of the girls from, or I should say, a lot of the people from Fat Brunch look like they bought tickets too. So we'll have a good time, and I'll definitely take lots of video and try to do some interviews with some of the people that are attending. I wish Aubrey and the filmmaker are not going to be there. The Q&A that they're doing is going to be a recorded Q&A.
Mhm.
But anyway, it's still Aubrey's amazing documentary. I'm so excited. I've seen it once, but I'd love to see it again with a group of fatties. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. I think watching that the first time, I really wanted to just be alone and watch it because I knew it was going to be very emotionally and intense. But now that I've seen it and, know the spots and that sort of thing where it really resonates with me, I'd love to be in a room with other people who've had similar experiences and, just can, touch each other on the arm and, give you a little pat, like I see you while, you're upset during that part, or
Yeah,
it was a very moving film. I'm really excited to see that she's taken it around the United States now.
it sure is. Yeah, and she took it all over Europe already.
Yeah. Yeah. And it sounded like to great esteem. Like everybody was like sold out, appearances and showings and all that. So I hope she gets that same love here in the States.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
Hope they're making that money.
Hell yeah. No, that's great.
The most
I'm
important thing is the message, but also hopefully, it's not easy for us fatties to make a lot of money.
right. Right.
Have
Well, and
you?
I hope that it shows other filmmakers too that like our stories are meant to be told. Like that's one person's version of what they've experienced. And, I think representation matters. And so the more that you show that these stories exist and how they have shaped and changed people, the more people will see themselves and recognize like, oh, hey, my story needs to be told too. Or, I want to tell other people's stories, or it just builds that sort of creative nature.
And I'm okay exactly as I exist right this second.
Right.
I don't need to lose 20 pounds or 100 pounds to be okay. I'm okay now.
Right.
I'm fabulous now.
Yeah. There was
I
a
know.
good kind of like closing of the loop in that movie with that sort of scenario of like getting to see that play out for her and for her family members. So it was nice.
For those of you who are listening or watching today, our number one download of our podcast is our interview with Aubrey Gordon, who we both feel like she's just our new best friend. I guess everybody feels like that after they interview her, though. And yeah, she was wonderful. So if you ever want to check it out, it's on our Big Sexy Chat website, and it's the interview we did with Aubrey Gordon, and it's really by far our most downloaded podcast so far.
Yeah. We've got some great podcasts to go back and listen to.
Gosh, we have 45 of them now.
45? Wow, I didn't
Yeah.
even. We're gonna have to do a big thing for the 50th.
Yeah, we should, huh?
Yeah, like a 50th party or something like that. Yeah, I had a brunch with Amazon Amanda a couple weeks back, and
Yeah.
she's also, has been on the pod, and she has her website BBW Triple X Adventures, and they're actually going to be at Exotica in I believe is it August, or it's in New Jersey. It's in October. It's in October. And she said she bought out like one of the main booths that they have there, because usually those go to like the really, really big companies, but she bought one so that like the fatties are right up front and everybody's got to see them when you walk in. And she was just like, I'm doing it. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's amazing.
Hell yeah. I
Yeah.
should say that our interview with Amanda is our number one download on YouTube. And we have some close to 5,000 downloads on YouTube of Amazon Amanda. And then on our podcast, we have I think about 3,500 downloads with Aubrey. But yeah, so Amazon Amanda is really popular on our YouTube channel.
I'm sure it's because you get to see her, and if
Yeah.
you've ever seen her, she is gorgeous.
It sure is.
And you gotta love that she's over 6 foot and just has the perfectly hourglass figure. I'm sure folks were like, let me go look her up. Click, 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 click.
Yeah. And she's absolutely, like Aubrey, 100% unapologetic.
Yes. Yeah.
We should definitely ask her if we can interview her after she comes back from the it's like a sex toy porn convention, right?
It's a Exotica. Yeah, it's a big adult industry. So I think they kind of cover everything in there, but it's mainly meant for like the performers. They have like a big award show and that sort of thing as well. And that's like the biggest one, because they have it in multiple areas throughout the United States, but that's like the big one is the one that they have in New Jersey.
Nice. Oh, cool. I'm excited to hear how that goes for her and to follow along on her socials. So I'm sure she's going to have a lot of cool stuff to share.
Yeah, I saw that they're at one right now in Chicago, and they made temporary tattoos and they were putting them on the girls that were coming in. I was like, oh, hey.
I saw that. Yeah, very cute. Very cool.
Yeah. Good
so
stuff.
I wanted to say one more time to anybody who's listening or watching, if you have any ideas for us for topics or guests you'd like us to interview, please go ahead and put it in the chat here. Give us some more thumbs up and some hearts so we know you're still there. And you can also email us anytime you'd like to. Let us know about a topic or something that's bothering you to sexy@bigsexychat.com. And anything else, Murph, that we should mention or bring up?
No, we're just working on content. I think we've got some good interviews lined up here in the future.
Our next one's going to be really fun next Sunday.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. We're going to get to talk to Wendy Welsher from, she's a personal trainer, but she does fitness from a trauma-informed care lens, which is really interesting. So I'm really excited to have a chance to talk to her and just kind of hear that's a topic where I think we're going to get a little deep in terms of some of the trauma and stuff that becomes around quote unquote exercise and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's Wendy Jim Jam Welsher. So if you want to check her out on Instagram to prepare yourself for this pod.
Most of us, I think, have a lot of deep wounds around exercise, around, and also I was sort of programmed to think it's only for weight loss, and it's not. Right. I'm 56. I'm learning that now, but I do have some deep trauma about it. And I'm old enough to be part of that presidential fitness test. Oh, what a nightmare that was.
Horrible. That was, I had a teacher say one of the most traumatic things to me during that time. And it's just lived with me ever since. And, it's like, that's one instance. I can only imagine how many, when they did the little, I don't remember what they call it, but where they pinch your bicep.
Calipers to check.
Yeah, to see the amount of fat that I had a panic attack. It was just all bad.
Not traumatic at all.
Yeah, no big deal. Just go out there and do those the run in less than 2 minutes, and the squats and the push-ups and the
Oh yeah, and to lift yourself up on the
Oh yeah,
and don't forget about, hey, a little chubby girl, come do the long jump.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Not very long.
Yeah.
I don't think they do that anymore, though, do they? Didn't they retire the presidential physical fitness test?
I don't think so.
Really? Oh.
I think they've talked about it, but I'm pretty sure they just changed some of the metrics, and they got rid of the little caliper thing where they measure your fat, because they would do that in front of all of your
Yes.
entire class.
Right.
So, the people that knew that you were the fattest person in the room were like, oh, I can't wait to hear that number. And then you'd go out to the playground afterwards and they'd be like, so-and-so's a this and that. It just, how they could think that that wouldn't be traumatic. But I think they were also in the mentality back then of like, well, good, hopefully it'll make that fatty run a little bit faster, or, some horrible negative thing.
Got to teach her some discipline.
Yeah. She's never going to learn.
That's right. I'm going to learn you.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep doing laps. I'm going to learn you, girl, little fat girl.
Oh, for real.
I hope it's better out there than it was when I was in school, but maybe not.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Maybe we can ask Wendy that and see if
Yeah,
she knows
she might know. Yeah, maybe I'll do a little research too.
Yeah.
Well, it was really fun chatting with you this Sunday. I'd love to let's do this every once in a while.
Yeah, I think so too. That was great.
In between our podcasts.
Yeah. Thanks for everybody for listening and following along or catching this later on. I get that, when we do lives, not everybody can watch it live. You may be in a place where you can't listen or, that sort of thing. But if you circle back and you heard something you like, we talk about this kind of stuff all the time on our podcast. So Come on by, check us out.
Yeah, we love that. We love we have such amazing community. So grateful for all of our supporters.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a good one, Murph. I'll talk to you next Sunday.
Sounds good.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.